Hello students, and welcome back to our read aloud of The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. The last chapter of this book actually isn't called a chapter, it's titled Coda. And that is such a fancy word, I had to go look it up myself. So a coda is a word that is often used for authors who write books, literature, or people who write music. And it means simply the end. So if you were reading a piece of music, it might towards the end of it have the word coda to indicate to you that it was the end. And in some literature and some books, you will see that word there as well. And our author of The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane has chosen to call the very last chapter of her book Coda as well. I can't wait to see what happens. Once there was a China rabbit who was loved by a little girl. The rabbit went on an ocean journey and fell overboard and was rescued by a fisherman. He was buried under garbage and unburied by a dog. He traveled for a long time with the hobos and worked for a short time as a scarecrow. Once there was a rabbit who loved a little girl and watched her die. The rabbit danced on the streets of Memphis. His head was broken open in a diner and was put together again by a doll mender. And the rabbit swore that he would not make the mistake of loving again. Once there was a rabbit who danced in a garden in springtime with the daughter of the woman who had loved him at the beginning of his journey. The girl swung the rabbit as she danced in circles. Sometimes they went so fast, the two of them, that it seemed as if they were flying. Sometimes it seemed as if they both had wings. Once, oh marvelous once, there was a rabbit who found his way home. That's the end of this book. What an interesting way to end this book. If you notice, the author went through and summarized everything that happened to Edward throughout the story. Once there was a China rabbit who was loved by a little girl. That's Abilene. And then it describes all of the adventures that Edward went on, and who found him and loved him. Here, once there was a rabbit who loved a little girl and watched her die. There's Sarah Ruth. Here's where he fell into the doll mender's arms, and how he swore that he would not make the mistake of loving again. So on this page, the author is summarizing the whole story for us, right? But then the author goes on to say, once there was a rabbit who danced in a garden in springtime with the daughter of the woman who had loved him at the beginning of his journey. So here now, the author is going from telling us about what happened to Edward before to describing what happened to him after he was adopted by Abilene and her daughter again. And it says that he went and danced in the garden with her, dancing in circles, that it seemed as if they were flying and had wings. That reminds me of those wings that Edward dreamed of when his head was broken before the doll mender fixed him. And the very last sentence is so beautiful. Once, oh marvelous once, there was a rabbit who found his way home. So this story is kind of told in a circle. Edward starts his life with Abilene, and she loves him very much, and that's exactly where he ends his journey. What a really miraculous journey. I hope you enjoyed this book. I enjoyed reading it to you.